in college football with the NIL, you're seeing ridiculous numbers being thrown out there. You're seeing recruits getting maybe up to $5 million package deals to come to this school, to come to that school. Some schools are participating heavily. Other schools are crying poor. I think Ohio State is actually doing this thing the right way. I think Ohio State has figured it out.
Let's hear it.
It's sustainable because with the way it's going with other places, eventually, man, you're going to be stuck with a lot of kids that you overpay for, and let's face it, they become a bust.
Well, you're talking about Arkansas, Miami, Louisville,
A&M.
Well, it was A&M, but there's very few schools that are doing the, hey, here's $5 million, $7 million. Like Miami just paid for a quarterback that you may never see play. $9.5 million. That's more than Desmond Ridder, who got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in the second round of the draft.
Yeah.
Okay, just for a comparative. So that's what Rico's talking about. But outside of those schools, you're saying, okay, no one's doing it like that. Where's Ohio State after that?
Like Michigan State has this Michigan State NIL program, and they're saying, hey, we're just a few dollars away from $100,000 in the collective that I guess a lot of the football players are buying into. Like if you're a big fan, you want to donate into the pot, and, you know, I don't know what the restrictions are, but they're trying to build up their own brand. Ohio State has 4 players that are all going to be making over $500,000. Surprise, surprise.
Stroud.
C.J. Stroud.
Njigba.
Jackson Smith and the Jigba. Denzel Burke, the corner. And running back Travion Henderson.
Beast.
Yeah.
Henderson is frightening. So, and Don, I don't want to hear your pillow fight remark because he could play at Georgia, Kenny.
Yeah. So
he's a beast.
Burke and Henderson will promote American Eagle Outfitter. Smith and the Jigba and Stroud will plug Designer Shoe Warehouse.
And didn't Stroud get a truck? A car?
I think a lot of them got a car.
Okay, sorry.
And then Stroud is also pushing Value City Furniture as well. This is all coming through the Ohio State NIL. This is how it should be. Pay players who are doing something for your school. I don't mind seeing these guys going out getting deals for $500,000 a piece because, let's face it, that's still a bargain for what you're bringing into the school. Paying a recruit millions of dollars is lunacy. And I don't know if I would ever want to do this as a coach. I don't know if I could walk into a booster and say, hey, Mike, you got to make sure this kid gets here.
But aren't we already seeing that? Like last year, A&M was very forward. The reports had come out about the class costing them $20 million. Now this year, A&M's recruiting is not where it was, and you don't hear anything. Now, I'm not saying they're not doing anything, but like this year it seems like Miami's taken their place. And now John Ruiz, who's, I think he's worth, $40 billion? Does that sound right? Miami is throwing out major dollars. But the question is, that's not sustainable. We know this. It's not. It's also not sustainable to do nothing or next to nothing. So what becomes the sustainable model?
I think Ohio State is developing a sustainable model where you win games and you reward your players who are there. That's where I think if you start doing that, because I do believe, and we talked, you should just have a cap for incoming freshmen. Guys, if you're coming into the school, you get $500,000 or you get $100,000, or the school just gets a $2 million cap. You could pay that out to any of your incoming freshmen, however you choose to pay them. If you want to give everybody the same amount, fine. If you want to give the lion's share to 2 or 3, fine. That's on you, but everybody gets a $2 million cap for incoming freshmen, and then you reward the kids who go out there and actually do something. I mean, like Jaden Reed at Michigan State should be able to go out there and get a nice deal. Blake Corum at Michigan should be able to go out there and get a nice deal. These guys are established. They've actually done something for the school.
We know who you are.
Yeah. Like if Kenneth Walker came back, then yes, everybody knows who he is. He should be able to go out there and get that. So yeah, when C.J. Stroud is making $500,000, I don't know of anybody who's going to be like, that's just too much money. You're like, you know what? That's actually a bargain because, yeah, he's going to be making a ton of money. He's already gotten a car. So, yeah, $500,000 before you go to the NFL seems like a fair trade-off to me.
Oh, and I don't know. I mean, how do I phrase it? I mean, what's the question exactly? Like, none of us really know where NIL's headed. We don't know if it'll get reined in or not. I don't think it's anything to fear. I don't think schools, like, I don't think all of a sudden Miami's going to get put on the death penalty because, no, there's no rules.
Well, I was about to say, you can't get put on the death penalty because there's no rule against this. So everybody's saying, oh, wait till these schools get caught. Get caught doing what?
Right.
The only rule is you can't just give the money away. You have to offer, the kid has to do something. Even if it's, hey, I'll come over here and help me move in my apartment, and I'll give you $1 million.
So here's the
question.
question.
Did something.
How far away are Michigan and Michigan State from even getting into the Ohio State territory? No, I don't want any jokes about players. And no, just because you beat them last year doesn't mean you are them. You're not. And they're going to break their foot off in your ass this year, so buckle up. The point is, how far away are we? That's my question to you. You know better than I. And Michigan just seemingly, like, I always love it when I bring this up. And it's like, oh, don't worry. They're working on big things. And it's like, okay, what? You'll see. No, you're not. Shut up.
See, I think
this fall, we're going to unveil the maize rate. It's like, dude, just stop.
I think it's a chicken or the egg type of thing. If this were last year in NIL, you probably would have saw Aiden Hutchinson and Kenneth Walker really go out there and exploit that. But you got to have, I guess you got to bring in the players with the name recognition who come to the school and have that instant impact. You don't really have that at the two schools. You got guys who get there and it takes some time to develop and become that person. It took Aiden 3 years before he became that guy. You know, Walker just kind of fell out the sky. He was a, Wake Forest cast off and no one saw what he was going to do. But that's why when Ohio State, I mean, you got guys already coming in there, Marvin Harrison Jr., he's already got name recognition. So, yeah, he's going to get that. So in order for Michigan and Michigan State to get there, you got to get the players, which means you have to pay to get those players on campus in order to do the full NIL. It's a chicken or the egg.
What's happening, though, and you and I had this conversation. I mean, MSU was after one particular kid who plays tackle, and basically Miami just offered the guy several $1 million. Like, right. I'll help the kid sign. Here, you're an idiot if you don't take this. I can't pay that. So, like, you get to a point where you have to cross off a large number of the elite players. And I don't know what Oregon's got going on, but it seems like they're in the mix now, too, with a little bit of that Nike sugar money.
Yeah, they didn't like the fact that their coach went to Miami, so they're trying to say, hey, we're still Oregon.
Right. The point is, money. All right, what's the middle ground? Like, what is, like, I think.
And see, I think maybe that's it. I mean, would you like to see the NCAA just adopt exactly what Ohio State is doing and established players get the lion's share of the NIL money, and you're not tossing around?
I think everybody, I think what needs to happen now that we're, and by the way, 248-539-9797 would love to have people dial in on this. David, give me 1 second. I think what needs to happen is think about signing day as a signing bonus. Like, Rico's got this right that once they're on campus, if I am a business, a.k.a. a booster, I'm not paying some kid who's never toted the rock or sacked the quarterback or done anything. But I think what needs to happen if you're going to stay relevant in recruiting is, yeah, if you sign with my school, you get $50,000 or $100,000. And the recruiting class does cost $2 million. Everyone gets the same. This is the going rate if you want to wear helmet X. Beyond that signing bonus, everything you earn, you earn. And like Rico, like Quinn Ewers, the kid who went to OSU last year, is currently down at Texas driving an Aston Martin. Mm-hmm. To my knowledge, he still hasn't thrown a touchdown pass. That's wild to me. Now,
he played in the mop-up duty against MSU.
Knee.
Yeah.
That wasn't even a game, by the way. That was a burial.
It was mop-up duty. It was a controlled scrimmage.
That was one of the worst football games I've ever watched in my life, and that's the second most depressing thing you brought up today. Thank you. David, what did you have?
Yeah, no, I am all the way against the cap.
People are super jacked for this, by the way.
All the way against the cap. Because here's my thing. It's because it's not the school giving the money, it's a collective. So a billionaire's out there giving this money.
Yeah, but I didn't do a cap.
No,
so you didn't listen.
Rico wanted the cap.
Right. I'm not doing a cap. You know what I'm doing? I got to listen to Les Moonves over here and his whole TV routine and all the monies are coming in. Then each school, if you want to be a part of the big boy conference, $2 million a school. That's what you're going to pay your players the day they get to campus. Everything after that, they earn.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, David. Big Ten gets a $100 million check. Okay. Let's be real. And before we get the whole, well, what about Title IX? I don't care. And neither do most people who root for their schools. Football is king. You give the football team $2 million out of the $100 million. You mean to tell me you can't spend the other $98 million? That's less than taxes.
See, but that's all fine. That's fine to me. But when you mention cap, I immediately say no to that.
No. So everybody has this. You got the money. Go take $2 million and set it aside. Now, if you choose not to, that's on you. But I'm saying, Big Ten, $2 million, every kid, and I'm not even going to say everybody gets the same. If you want to divvy it up and you like, you know what, I'm willing to pay this kid $800,000 of my $2 million, fine. But now you got 1.2 to spread throughout the rest of the class. So that kid better be worth it.
I'd love to know where people are at with it. It is in real time playing out in front of us. I mean, you're seeing it, and I'm sure a Michigan fan would have a story of a recruit they were going after, or maybe a kid you had, and that kid got poached.
Yeah.
I only brought up the MSU thing because that's the school I care about, and Rico fills me in on everything. Like, what is the answer? Where is it headed? And what is the right way? I kind of feel like it's this hybrid model of, like, you do pay the kids to come to your school, but it has to be reasonable. This idea that a high school quarterback who has never thrown a pass is worth $9.5 million, no, not sustainable. I don't hate Miami for doing it, and if I had $40 billion to my name, I'd probably be doing the same stupid stuff at MSU.